Hey everyone. Today we're going to talk about something that's on a lot of parents' minds, childhood vaccines. We know you've got questions, so we're going to break it all down, the science, the schedule, the ingredients, and the why, in a way that's simple and super clear.
So if you're a parent, this has probably crossed your mind, right? You see that vaccine schedule, you hear stuff from friends or see things online, and you just want to be absolutely sure you're doing the right thing for your little one.
And I really want to start right here. Having questions isn't just normal. It's a good thing. It shows you're a thoughtful parent who cares deeply. The goal for all of us is a healthy child, and asking questions is a huge part of that.
Okay, let's dive into one of the biggest worries out there, the number of shots. Is it too many, too soon? Is it just too much for a tiny immune system to handle all at once?
The real fear here is this idea of overwhelming a baby's immune system. And you know what? That's an understandable thing to worry about. So let's put it into perspective.
To figure out if vaccines are overwhelming, we first have to appreciate just how unbelievably strong a baby's immune system already is. I mean, from the second they're born, it's working, learning, and protecting them. The key word we need to know is antigen. Don't worry, it's simple. Think of an antigen like a training dummy for your immune system. It's a tiny, harmless piece of a germ that teaches the body how to recognize and fight off the real bad guy, but without anyone ever getting sick.
Now, think about your average baby. They're crawling, they're touching everything, they're putting things in their mouth. Just by doing normal baby things, their immune system is coming across and dealing with thousands of different antigens every single day. Their bodies are literally built for this.
So, compared to the thousands of antigens they handle every day, want to take a guess how many are in all the vaccines combined over the first 2 years of life? It's about 125. That's not per shot. That's the total for the entire 2-year schedule.
This visual really says it all. A baby's daily exposure to germs is like a huge bucket of water, almost full. All the antigens from all their vaccines, that's like adding one tiny drop. It doesn't come close to overwhelming the system. It's just a tiny fraction of what that amazing immune system is already doing.
All right, let's move on to the next one, and this is a biggie. The concerns around a link to autism and questions about the actual ingredients in vaccines. Let's be crystal clear about this. The fear about a link between the MMR vaccine and autism all came from one single study way back in 1998. That study was later proven to be complete fraud. The author lost his medical license, and the paper was completely retracted. Since then, dozens of huge studies with millions and millions of children have all found the same thing. There is absolutely no link.
Okay, so what about the other part of this, the ingredients? You might see something like aluminum on the list and think, whoa, wait a minute, is that safe? And that is a perfectly fair question to ask.
It all comes down to the amount. See, aluminum is one of the most common elements on Earth. It's naturally in our water, in our food, and yep, it's even in breast milk and baby formula. In fact, a baby gets way more aluminum from their diet in the first year than they do from all their shots combined. The tiny, safe amounts in vaccines are just a drop in the bucket.
So why is it even in there? Well, aluminum acts as something called an adjuvant. Basically, it's a helper. It helps get the immune system's attention so it pays closer attention to the vaccine and builds a stronger, longer-lasting memory. It makes the vaccine work better.
This brings us to another really common question. Why not just let kids get sick and build immunity the natural way? Isn't that stronger? Let's break down the 2 ways you can get immunity.
Look, both getting sick from a disease and getting a vaccine can lead to immunity. That's true. The big difference is the price you have to pay. To get immunity from measles, the price can be terrifyingly high, a serious risk of pneumonia, brain swelling, or even death. The price of vaccine immunity? Usually it's just a sore arm for a day.
Think about it this way. You can get a shield of immunity by surviving a dangerous battle, but that shield might come out cracked, burned, and damaged from the fight. Or you can be given a strong, shiny, perfectly made shield that protects you without you ever having to face that dangerous battle in the first place.
And here's the thing about that shield. The protection it gives goes way beyond just your own family. This is one of the most powerful things about vaccines, and it's something we don't always think about. It's really an act of community care.
See, there are people all around us who can't get vaccinated. We're talking about brand new babies who are still too young. We're talking about people fighting cancer whose immune systems are too weak, and sometimes our elderly loved ones. They are counting on the rest of us to keep them safe. This is what's often called community immunity. When enough of us are vaccinated, we create this amazing protective shield around the most vulnerable people in our society. It makes it much, much harder for a disease to spread and find those who can't protect themselves. It's how we look out for each other.
So let's just recap the big points. First, asking questions is a sign of a great parent. Second, vaccines are just a tiny drop in the ocean for a baby's incredibly powerful immune system. Third, the link to autism was based on bad science that was thrown out years ago. And finally, vaccines give your child that strong shield of protection without the dangerous, life-threatening risks of the disease.
The bottom line is this: vaccines are one of the most tested and monitored medical tools we have in all of history. They don't overwhelm the system, they train it. Because at the end of the day, parents and doctors want the exact same thing: a happy, healthy, thriving child. So the real conversation starts right here. How can we all be partners in reaching that goal? We hope this helps you start that conversation. Thanks for joining us.